Oh, we gonna get it. We gonna get it. Yo, what up? It's your man 100 Acre Woods. We back again with the MPC Gospel. Maybe I should rotate the camera, but I don't care. Pay attention. In this lesson, we're going to talk about song forms. We finally getting to the point where you're putting your song together in the MPC and, using song mode. So the first things first, now that you have your theme, your song plot, you know what I'm saying? You got your rhyme schemes, you got your chorus, and you got a beat, you know what I'm saying, down on your MPC. We got to start slicing and arranging it so that you could organize it into different sections, and then you could format it in song mode into a flowing song. So, what's the sections of the song that we need? Well, we already got the chorus. Then out that pen. Got the chorus already. That's the hook, that's the emotional high point. It's the energy payoff of the song. You know what I'm saying? The journey. It's the destination where you're trying to get to. Then you got the verse. And with the verse, that's the journey, that's the walk, that's the path. You know what I'm saying? That's you feeling like you need the energy, or you know what I'm saying? That's on the 8-point story wheel. That's you. It starts with you know what I'm saying? Or it starts with the what, the subject, the content. What's it all about? Where are we going with this type thing? Excuse me. I'm outside, so y'all gotta excuse the, you know what I'm saying, the awkwardness that I'm working with right now. But we gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. So like I was saying, the verse, that's like the journey. Then you got, let's see, the pre-chorus. And that's like, let's say if you were walking and you were thirsty, like let's say you were walking through the desert and you were thirsty and you see a mirage. You walking would be the verse. The mirage would be the chorus. And the pre-chorus would be like you running towards the mirage. Like you see an oasis and you want to go and drink some water, not realizing it's just heat waves on the ground. So that's what the pre-chorus would be. It would be like it ramps up the energy from the verse. Then you have the bridge. And the bridge is like a reflecting point of the journey. It's like, all right, you got to the, you know what I'm saying, you did your verse, you walked the journey, you got your payoff. And the bridge is like, literally, you cross over a bridge. Not even that. We talking about the oasis. So you ran to the mirage, you got to the mirage, and you realize it's all an illusion. That's what the bridge is. It's that realization point, like whether this was worth it or it wasn't worth it in a song. But it's always going to be worth it for the listener. But you telling the story as the writer, the storyteller, you have to say, was it worth it for you, from the perspective of the person in the song? You know what I'm saying? You get me. The realization point. And then, you repeat the chorus over. And then you might even add in the intro and an outro. Because if you're making music to captivate a full audience for your album, you want to have all the elements of your song. And then if you're making pop music, you might leave out the intro and the outro because you want to make a quick 2.5-3 minute song just to get in their head and get out the door real quick with the bag. And then the verse refrain It's just when you repeat the title line in the beginning or the end of the song. So it's like Meet the Parents type thing with Jay-Z, or No Hook, when you be like, I ain't got no hook for this like that type thing. That's what a verse refrain would be in rap. And then once you understand what the sections are, you talk about the length of the section. So a chorus, we'll always go with 8-bar choruses, right? Or 4 bars if you know what I'm saying? Verses can be 4 bars to 32 bars, depending on the genre. You can have a 4-bar song or 4-line song, either one, and then just get straight to the chorus, or a 4-bar verse and a 4-bar pre-chorus that jumps straight to the hook. So evidently, a pre-chorus can be 2 to 4 bars. And a bridge is known as the middle 8, so clearly the bridge is going to be 8 bars. Intro and outro, let's say 4 bars. Depending, some songs used to have like 7-minute intros and shit before they actually got to the verses, because it was all about the instrumentation. But an intro is typically 4 to 8 bars. An outro could be just fading the chorus out. So let's say 4+ bars. And the verse refrain, like I said, it's just the title line, or the title at the end or the beginning of your verse. So let's see what's the next part. Arranging, I guess we should go into song mode of the MPC, but it's really quite simple. So I'll do a demonstration over there, but right now we're going to talk about, let's see, the types of song forms. So, you know what I'm saying, you can have the quick song, you got the verse, chorus. That's what I'm saying, you get in, you get out, and you know what I'm saying, you take the energy and you run with it. Then you got the ones with 2 verses, or verse, pre-chorus, and then the chorus. You know what I'm saying? Follow that pattern 2 times. And then you got that verse, pre-chorus, bridge. Chorus, 2x, and then, well, not necessarily. Then you got the bridge. Let's see. Then you got the verse refrain type, 1 verse to the bridge. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing a folk song, you can make all types of music on the MPC. Hip hop is at the peak right now. We right here with the hip hop. And the only way to go higher is to be the sun. Don't let that go over your heads. And then with that, you know, you throw your intro, outro. You know what I'm saying? Add instrumentation. You could throw, instead of having a vocal bridge, you could have a musical break or a musical bridge. That is in the old school, when they was playing the soul music or the funk music, that bridge part where everybody was dancing, they just played music. That's what actually evolved into the hip hop sampling. They took that middle 8, chopped it up, did what they had to do with it, looped it a few times, and that became the younger generation, that became their party music. Fast forward to hip hop, we started using those into samples. So it all ties together, baby. That's why I call it true players, a generation connected. So let's go into some tips that I got from the speed songwriting course. And it's basically using contrast. And contrast means opposing things. Not opposing to make it clash, but opposing to make it stand out. In painting and art, using contrast, you would use, well, no, I was gonna say you use a darker to make a lighter stand out, but it's not necessarily that. If you have a lighter background, your darks are gonna look darker. Just like if you have a darker background, your light colors are gonna look much brighter. They're gonna look a lot more vivid. And the same thing happens with your music. So if your chorus is your energetic high point, that's where all your instruments are hitting at their hardest. Everything is at its peak, not clipping of course, but everything is at that high point. Then your verse should be more subdued. Cut out some instruments. You know what I'm saying? If you're playing crazy bass, if it's real bass heavy in your chorus, then you should, you know what I'm saying, lower the bass, put a low pass filter on that, or a high pass filter on that bass, sorry. If you have a lot going on with the instruments, you know what I'm saying, like I said, if you have 5 instruments in your chorus, then only use 3 instruments in your verses. Maybe even use 2 instruments in your verses. If you, let's see, what else can you talk about contrast? Your chord progressions. If you're using a rhythmic pattern in your verses, use a more sustained chord progression in your chorus, and vice versa. What else? Talks about line length. That's like short verses or long verses, short hooks. Like I'm saying, flush out a story, get to the point, or short verse and a punchy hook. You know what I'm saying? Saying change up the chords. Obviously, you want to change up the chords. Like I said, if you're playing a rhythmic pattern in your verse, then you want to play a more sustained chord progression in your chorus. Switch up the chord progressions. You know what I'm saying? The bridge actually plays a different chord progression than the actual verses or the chorus. Now, I'm not a crazy musician, but I understand a little bit of music theory. They say that you either raise it by a third or the sixth, whatever that means. But we just here making music, so I'm thinking that most people are gonna make hip hop. But still, if you're gonna venture into pop music or R&B, you know what I'm saying, classical type of instrumentation, you know what I'm saying, practice, and you'll hear it. If you listen to songs like pop music or old school R&B or old school soul music, you can hear the verses, you can hear the 4 bars, the 8 bars, you can hear how it leads into the pre-chorus, and then you can hear how the energy rises into, you know what I'm saying, the chorus. And then you can feel the energy shift into the bridge. So it's really not necessarily about me telling you what to listen for. It's about you understanding the song sections and then going to your favorite old school music and listening to it. Going to your favorite rap songs and listen to it. Listen to how they take it apart, or you take it apart and listen to how they construct it. You know what I mean? It's just like Kobe watching game film of Michael Jordan when he was a kid. It's just like Floyd still watching boxing film just to keep his mind sharp. That's what you're supposed to do as a producer. You listen to other musicians that you know what I'm saying, respect or even aspire to be like. Those are the people who you allow to influence the way that you construct music. You don't copy their sound, you know what I'm saying? You might bite their sound to begin with, but in order to really become your own musician and producer, you study them and you understand the way to construct a song so that you can take another song apart and reconstruct it. You can take a hit song apart and reconstruct it your own way. Not plagiarizing, but writing in your own words. And in this case, making your own melodies, making your own chords, making your own bass lines, making your own drum patterns. Why? Because that's what we do with the MPC. Now, what else do I have on this list? I'll be taking notes, man. Gave verse tips. Like I said, we already got the verse. We just gotta write it down in a way that makes sense. We got the song plot, we got the rhyme scheme, and we got the toggle patterns. And if you remember what the toggle patterns are, those are just the levels of experience. So you either writing about content, the thing, the who, what, where, when, or you writing about your thoughts on that. You know what I'm saying? A thought, I think, I see, or you writing about the sensory, the sensations that you get from, no, pause that. The thoughts is what you see objectively outside of you. The senses is what you feel about it. Pause, let me call, got a phone call. All right, part 2, we back. Had to answer that call from me mama. But it's good because now I got my papers, but I'm not looking over here anymore. Yeesh. So, like I was saying about verse tips, use your song plots, your rhyme scheme, toggle patterns. Toggle patterns are, you know what I'm saying, the levels of experience. Are you doing the identity? Are you doing a belief? Are you doing, you know what I'm saying, that? Also, it's your senses and your thoughts about the content. You answer who, what, where, when, why early. Make your verses color different from the chorus, meaning play your chords differently. Also, you introduce new info from verse to verse. You know, if you're talking about a level of experience identity in verse 1, you don't go back to level of experience identity in verse 2. Go to beliefs. You know what I'm saying? If you identify with a group, then you talk about the beliefs about the group. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said that. Level of experience. Rhyme scheme. Keep your rhyme scheme consistent from verse to verse. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's just like a party song and people are rhyming differently, you would want to keep the rhyme scheme the same. You don't want to keep the same rhyming words, but you don't want to have multisyllabics in one verse and then a simplistic verse in another one. Cause it's too much of a contrast. That just doesn't make sense. You want the melody to be lower than the chorus, and then you want to build intensity into the chorus, and you do that with your pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus tips are to contrast the phrase length. So your pre-chorus would either be 2 bars or 4 bars. Your verse would be either 4 bars or 6 bars. And your chorus would be 4 to 8 bars. Increase the intensity through melody and harmony, meaning your melody and your chords. You want to play below the range of the chorus, meaning that you want to play in a lower octave, maybe outside or below the dynamic range, the volume range. And also you want to have a new chord progression, avoiding the root chord. For your bridge, you know what I'm saying, they say a new melodic peak, and you do that using the flat 6 or the flat 7. Melodic contrast, and then you have a phrase length, 8 bars. So basically you just lock in the rhythm, your lyric rhythm over the beat. You know what I'm saying? Say your words, your toggle patterns, your sentences, your musical sentences in a way that makes sense over your beat. Yeah, that's it. And then let's see, build your chord progression to support that. And then you take your lyrics and find the corresponding chord tones to match, to make a melody, excuse me. So let me see. If you're playing a C chord, right? C, E, G, then the word that falls on that C chord, it would either be a C, an E, or a G, depending on who's singing it. You can't sing 3 notes at once. Then you want to assemble your song, you know what I'm saying, connect the sections. So basically your workflow would be figure out which song form you're going to use, how many verses you're gonna have, how long your song is gonna be, whatever. Then you use your song plot, your word bank, your toggle patterns to come up with your lyrics. Then you go into making your harmonies, your chords, and then you work on your melodies. And you already know the hero's journey and how to play it with the songs, but verse 1 would be the who or the need. Your pre-chorus is you going on the search. Your chorus would be you finding what you needed. Verse 2 would be you taking that or paying a cost for it. That pre-chorus would be you returning to the chorus, or you returning home. And then the pre-chorus would be you talking about what you found and the cost that you paid. And the bridge would be, how did that change you? We talk about it more. Because after I finish this, we got one more. After this, we got one more video, and that's just going into the editing process, recording, and sorting your songs. Whether you're gonna put it online, as far as DistroKid, distributing it for money, or whether you're gonna put it on SoundCloud for free. And after that, we're gonna start doing the practice of it. Practice? Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So that's that for this episode of the MPC Gospel. It's your boy, 100 Acre Woods. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Drop a question in the comments in case you want to know anything about the MPC, really. So we're gonna do is break it down from the MPC Bible, and then we're gonna break it down how 100 Acre Woods do it. Then you can do it how you do it. So, holla at me. Peace.